Tristan with Nerdette's NewsStand, and I've been wanting to get to this review all week. I just haven't had a chance. So I am excited to actually review this Von Freeze. It is Sean Gordon Murphy, and I believe the art is Klaus Johnson. I apologize if I say that incorrectly. But before I get into this, I was going to try to censor myself because this is going to talk in detail about real Nazis. Now, there's really no way to get around it, so if you don't mind sharing the video, I would appreciate it. And as always, subscribe and hit the like button, leave a comment. I read each and every single one. So, yeah, let's actually get into this, because this was great. And I like Sean Gordon Murphy's Curse of the White Knight, right? And this is just a tie-in. So, we're going to get to see a new origin, new-ish, from Bruce Timm's story when it comes to Freeze. And we're going to get a much darker origin story for him and Nora. So I really enjoyed this. We get a flash from this is going to take place in World War II. So we're going to see a little bit of that, and I'm not going to talk about that part yet. We'll get there, I promise. So we get to see Victor Freeze, and he's talking to his assistant, and she doesn't like what the Wayne Cryotech has been using for. Now, we don't know who this woman is, but I want you to remember her face for at the end, because she is a much more important character than you'll come to realize. So we see Thomas show up, and Martha has collapsed. Now, they were just at the doctor. She is 32 weeks pregnant. So, typically, you have to be 36 weeks or they will stop your labor. But it is a snowstorm. It is an avalanche. They cannot get out. They're not exactly sure what's going on, but Victor figures out that it's an amniotic fluid embolism, which, in real life, there's only about a 30 to 40% chance of living. So this is something extremely serious. Like, there's a good chance that both baby Bruce and Martha could pass away from this. So, Thomas is all ready to help, and he, you can't operate on your wife. There's no way possible you can do that and do it with a clarity that a surgeon actually needs. So he's like, okay, I'm going to let you operate. I want you to start by putting the IV in. And he can't. He's shaking. He can't. So Victor does take over and gets the cryotech, I cannot say that right ever, ready. And they do their I love yous. And they basically do get her stable. So Thomas and Victor head back. And they are talking. They are letting Martha rest. And they kind of start, Thomas brings up the subject of Victor's father. Now, we are going to talk about him, Baron. He's a son of a bitch. But we'll get there. We see these flashbacks, and we are specifically in World War II. Now, this is a little bit of a cookie-cutter World War II story. In the beginning, like, Jews have to hide. They have to escape. They have to be quiet. All of those things you would typically see in a story about the Holocaust. What do we get? And this is why I gave up on trying to censor myself, because there's just so much Nazi stuff here. Actually, you know what? Let's talk terms. A Nazi was a bad guy, a political party within Germany at the time that was truly evil, whether it was Hitler on down. Now, today, Nazi is anybody right of AOC. And if you've been on Twitter or have seen any videos on Twitter, you're going to probably know somebody that's been called one, or just, it's an insult at this point. It takes away from the whole subtext of what actually a Nazi was at that point. But we get little Freeze here. And little Victor is in his dad's workshop, and he hits over basically a testing tube. And he spills something, and his dad just, without even a thought, backhands him so hard, he's bleeding, and he runs down. Now, this is Jacob. This is his father's partner. And I really like Jacob's character. He's a really good father figure and actual father here in a little bit. He's a good friend, and he's got a lot of integral value. So he takes care of little Victor, and I like the relationship between them because not only does he take care of him, he teaches him. He tries to teach morals and values, and it actually is kind of a morally ambiguous relationship, right? Because not only does little Victor benefit from this relationship, but so does Jacob. He never wanted kids until Jacob was around. He now, and then we'll see, him and his wife do have a child because Jacob was there, because he taught him to love a child. He taught him the love for something else besides himself. So we do get a little bit more war stuff, and I'm not going to go through that too much. But basically, in a nutshell, we have to see them moved, and Jacob's against it. He doesn't want to move to this new testing facility because basically they will be prisoners of Baron von Fries. And they don't really have a choice literally at all. He's picking his family over his moral. And I totally can respect that. So they do move. And that's when Jacob finds out that not only is this a testing facility for the cryogenics that they've been working on for medical benefits, but they're using it as weapons. Not only that, to take it a step further, they're using Jewish people to test these weapons on, and he is literally not having it, and I don't blame him one bit. So he gets his family around, his newborn daughter, his wife, and he tells little Victor, meet me downstairs. You have to come with me. You can't stay here because this place is horrible. So they do venture out, and we see, Jacob holding his newborn baby girl, and they do get caught. Of course they do. Like, it's the middle of an avalanche in the middle of Germany. Of course they get caught. So they've got the guns, and they've got the literal Nazi soldiers. Not, mean people. The literal soldiers on here. And they're surrounded. And Baron von Fries does try to save them, but it doesn't really work. And we see that. Just like in the beginning when I showed you, we see Jacob get shot. And he asks one thing of Victor. Nothing else. Take this baby. No matter what happens, promise you will look after her. Promise you will protect Nora. And that's... fuck, I love it. I love it so much. I read that and I was like, oh, I love it because, a lot of the good relationships within DC aren't good anymore. Like Lois and Clark are kind of like meh. Batman and Selena are just like terrible for each other. So I love reading this beautiful storyline. So the Baron's in a little bit of trouble. Basically we see Jacob does pass away. So Von Fries' father tells him he has to listen to him. Don't panic. Don't do anything. Listen to me. He takes what he's been working on in the lab and kills all the soldiers. So he sees his father commit his first atrocity, and then he commits a lot more by shooting each and every single one of them in the head. They get in the back and they do escape, but then that's kind of I was kind of sad to see the storyline end because I'm like, oh, we're back to now. I forgot it was just a flashback. It was so good. So when I said remember the girl from the beginning, we get, Thomas saying, I'm sorry, I never caught your name. And she says, Nora. So that baby he promised to protect, that baby he promised to take care of is now his assistant. And eventually, he's going to be his lover. So we do see him, Thomas is really thankful that he helped his wife out so much. He gives him a watch. And then another flash to even more future, which is what we're taking place right now in White Knight, is when he gives the watch to Batman. And I was like, especially at this part, because I was like, I really, really was enjoying this. When it cut to Batman, I'm kind of like, oh, I love Batman, but I want more. Like, I want to know more about their love. I want to know everything. So, he does get it, and then, he leaves, and that's what he needed for the continuation of the White Knight storyline. And we see Harley, and I'm kind of confused here because her teeny little, is that her arm or her belly? That's her belly showing. And didn't she just have some kids and stuff? So I don't know. I'll have to see how this fits in. But I really, really enjoyed it. I haven't been let down from Black Label at all. I did read the question, and I I wasn't let down. It was just a slow burn. It was kind of boring. I'm not even going to review it. It wasn't worth reviewing. It wasn't good enough to roast or good enough to review. So this was an absolute recommendation, though. I loved every single bit of it. Even from the tired old Nazi bad storyline, it was good. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey, I want to give a huge shout out to my Subscribe Star and Patreons. You guys literally make this channel possible. Thank you so much, Sanjuro, Way Else One, BG Torrance, Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Grand Smear, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Jeremy Burtz, Mike Buckner, Robert, and Timothy French. You guys are freaking amazing. Thank you so much, and make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.